What's up, Fantasy Freaks? It's Rob, the NRL Fantasy Freak, back with my Round 11 Experts video. The hope with these videos is that we can learn from the experts on how they make their decisions, so that hopefully we can make better decisions ourselves. In this video I'll go over captaincy, how many trades they used, the top 10 players they brought in, the no-brainers, the early birds and the pods, who they traded out, the overall expert player base, the expert template, the expert table going over their rankings and how their team value is looking, and finally the expert key movements in terms of those metrics: ranking, team value and trades. So let's get into it. First up, it's captaincy, and in round 11 there are only two players in it, May and Haas. May at 65% and Haas at 35%. The Haas owners would have been licking their lips with the last three average of 85. But the majority of experts went with May, who had a higher 2025 average of 79 versus Haas's 76. I know it's not much in it. I think they might have also been looking at the last 3 minutes, with May averaging 78 minutes compared to Haas's 65. If we look at the PPM, yes, Haas has had a much higher PPM in the last three as well, at 1.31 over his 2025 average of 1.24. So that might have not been sustainable, which ended up being the case with Haas getting 70 and May breaking a ton. Looking at the experts' trade activity for round 11, 60% of experts saved at least one trade. 15% made one trade, 45% made two trades, and 40% made three trades. So it looks like it was a round to try and save a trade. Looking at the top 10 trade-ins for round 11, Zach Hosking was right on top with 17 of the 20 experts bringing him in. And he was definitely a no-brainer with Nicholson and Couchman going down. And he should get plenty of minutes on the edge, so can understand why the experts wanted him in the team. Tapine at number 2, one of the highest averaging mids coming into the State of Origin period. 9 experts brought him in and brought his percentage ownership up to 80% of the experts. Herbie Farnworth at number 3 with 4 trade-ins and doubling his ownership to 40%. Fletcher Sharp at the Knights with another 3 trade-ins, bringing him up to 90% owned, and he was a great option. Now Fahu White for his Origin cover was a great option. Another 3 bringing him in, and that brought him up to 40% ownership. Obviously he ended up getting injured, so unlucky for those 3 experts. Kolomatangi was brought in by 3 experts, and so that was wasn't owned by anyone going into round 11, and we'll look at him in the early bird section. Isaiah Katoa as well went from 5% to 15% owned when 2 experts brought him in. Another early bird that could potentially be required in your team in the near future, running for your final team. Kale Iro with 1 bring in, and he is definitely a pod. We'll talk about him. Jacob Saifidi at number 9. 1 more expert brought him in, so bring it up to 15%. Unlucky that he got injured as well. Finally, Scott Drinkwater One expert brought him in to put him up to 55% ownership and one of the favoured wing fullbacks. The two no-brainers of the round and the two that I brought in this week. Zach Hosking averaged 58 points in 74 minutes when playing on the edge, over 60 minutes. He was priced at 45 with a B of 41, and Nicholson was out till round 23. So he was an easy buy. Joseph Tapine, 2025 average of 62 and a last three average of 68, priced at 59 and a B of 49. He was the third highest average mid going into round 11 and he had no state of origin, making him a great option. The early bird segment is a key segment which I think we all need to learn from because it's where the experts get their edge. They get on players before everyone else and get those points and the dollars that come with it. Isaiah Katoa was an example, 9% owned. He was a half for round 12, so here's a good buy, priced at 53 with a last three average of 61 and a BE of 36, making him good value and low risk and potentially a final team keeper with that last three average of 61. Keenan Kalamatangi, 6% owned. He was a great option as well. He had the one game at prop was 73 minutes for 56 points. And he was priced at 47 with a B of 39, making him low risk. And the key stat was in 2024, he averaged 58 at lock, giving him 11 points of value if he maintains the prop role. More conservative coaches would have waited one more week to make sure he maintains that prop role, but the experts tend to be a bit more aggressive and a few of them brought him in early and now we're all going to be jumping on him in the near future. Everyone loves a good pod in their team and here we'll look at any pods being brought in by the experts. Kale Ero was brought in, 2.5% owned, 59 average in the first 5 games if we exclude round 4 where he got injured. Priced at 51, last 3 average of 59 and a B of 51, making him at value, potential upside with that last 3 average and the pod play if you wanted to go away from Farnworth and Lucas. So who were the experts trading out in round 11? Isaiah Yeo was number 1 with 11 trade outs, going from 65% owned to 10% owned. Makes sense with him missing 11 and 12 with Origin, and then missing 15 and won't back up in 16 coming back from Perth. So only playing 2 of the next 6, easy trade out option. Greg Marzhew was number 2 with 9 trade outs, only one coach holding on to him. He's only going to be out for 3 rounds, so could have held him. Matty Nicholson at number 3 with the injury, and he is out for a long time, not back until after round 20 something. And all coaches sold him, 8 out of 8. Toby Couchman at number 4 with the injury as well. 7 coaches sold him, going from 55% down to 20%. Nathan Cleary, 2 coaches sold him. Same principle as Yo, but obviously a lot more coaches have held him, and I think that makes sense because he is the top half and he can go big in rounds 13 and 14, whereas there are a few more mids that we could pivot to, like Tapine. With number 6, Hubner, 2 coaches sold him early. He was definitely on the chopping block for me. Just has no real value in your team. Same with Thomas Jenkins, 2 coaches sold him, down to 20% owned. Bradman Best was out injured, so he was an easy sell for Nicky. Adam Duehi, 1 coach sold. There's still 1 coach holding him. And Stafford Toa 1. So who do the fantasy experts own? The highest owned players per position: Aaron Clark 75%, Terrell May 100%, Dylan Egan 90% owned going into round 11. So they all got hit by that 0 pretty much. Hugo Savala 100%, Dylan Lucas 90%, and Fletcher Sharp 90%. So they would have all benefited from the massive scores from the Knights last night. In the rest of the players, you can look through and just pause the video and see who the experts have in each position. Might help you pick who you want in your team, but we'll go through the expert template. So this is the expert template. The rules of this: must have at least 1 sub on the interchange for each position, and the team value must be under the average team value for the content creators, which we'll see in future slides. So going through the template: Aaron Clark at hooker, Terrell May, Payne Haas, and Joseph Tapine in the mids, Zach Hosking and Dylan Egan at edge, Cleary and Fogarty in the halves, Lucas and Kautoga in the centres, Garrick, Sharp, and Drinkwater at the back. On the bench, Wong, Horsburgh, Hines, and Tavanga. And in the emergencies, King Tongia, Riley Smith, Savilio Tamale, and Hugo Savala. So this team would have scored 1,011 points in round 11. So it just shows how good the experts are at picking. The players I don't own from this template: Corey Horsburgh, who I sold early, thinking he was going to be in Origin. Scott Drinkwater at 50% owned is definitely someone I'm looking at getting in my team. Nicholas Hines at 45%. I went with Katoa and Fogarty to go with Cleary, so Hines isn't an option. And Riley Smith, definitely regretting missing him as he's pumping out some 50s. On the right, I've got the expert ownership breakdown by percentage ranking, so you can see who you might want to bring into your team. So my predicted expert template for round 12, the only player that I've changed is I've brought in Herbie Farnworth for Dylan Egan, and that gives me a team that with a projected score of 767 for round 12. So let's see how it goes. Predicted trades from the experts this week: I've got Farnworth, Tedesco, AFB, and Katoa in, and Dylan Egan, Naufahu White, Payne Haas, and Nathan Cleary out. So we'll see how close I am. So here are the coaches that make up the experts, and in top rank, Liz Dexick, Nath from JBFA, ranked 458, had a bad round this round with a round score of only 869, but he's still holding strong in number 1 of the experts. In bottom rank, Nicky still hanging out there at the bottom. He had jumped into 19th, but he's back down to last with the Talking League pod having a massive score this week. 1,004 points. And they've jumped up to 11,471 rank. So a massive 5,992 rank change. Lowest score for the round, Biz from the Casual Athlete, 860 points. So yeah, not a good week for him. And you can have a look through the table and see, you can see there's a lot of Jamie Brown, what would you call it, guys there that do videos, and a few from Fantasy Amateurs, the Casual Athlete, and NRL Fantasy Pro app, and the new guy that I've put in from NRL Fantasy Files. You should watch his videos, very informative. Alright, let's have a look at where the experts have moved. So here's the key movements from round 11. First off, the average expert, the rank after round 10 was 4984. It's dropped down to 4137. So a good drop there. Team value 13.605 mil, now up to 13.747. And trades used 18 into 20. Looking at the rank, the biggest rank jump, as I mentioned, Talking League pod, 5,992 ranks jumped in 1 week is insane. And the biggest rank fall, Mark Jessup, NRL FA Gryffindor, minus 2228. So he was one of the biggest rank jumps previous week, so now he's come plummeting back down again. And my rank jumped 730, so very happy. Team value, highest team value, Mark Jessup with 14.09 mil, which is insane, and surprising that his rank isn't higher, but obviously he'll come home strong with that team value. Lowest team value, Nicky, 13.319 mil. So not too bad, and he'll start climbing as we've seen. And my team value 13.83 mil, so 27 mil behind, 270,000 behind Jessup, so not too bad. And trades, lowest trades used 17. Sash Daddy's daddy from the NRL Fantasy Files, so he's in a strong position to be able to be aggressive with trades come the back end of the season. Highest trades used, JBFA Haas No Trades, which is Matty T. From 23 trades used is a lot, and he's going to struggle. He needs to avoid injuries. And yeah, my trades used 20, bang in the middle, average. And I think I'm in a reasonably good position. My team is well on the way to be complete. I think I got 12 keepers already for my final team. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and keen to get some feedback if it's worthwhile or not, and if you like it or if I can do something different. So yeah, please comment and let me know. Catch you in the next one.